Hey, it's me Mark, and this week I'm going to show you how I made one of my model kits that I sculpted and casted myself with a lot of hard love, blood, a little bit of pee, all that, all that. So I designed it to be in three parts: the base, body, or neck, whatever the hell it is, and the top of the head, because otherwise it'd be pretty hard to make it in one piece. Today's magic tool is going to be super glue and baking soda, which is awesome because it acts like a catalyst for the super glue, so it makes it cure really fast, and it also gives it some thickness. So as you see, I'm going to shove it in these little seam lines where the body connects to the head, and that way I can fill up the holes and gaps without putty, because I ran out of putty. I also have been buying a lot of super glue lately. Been selling at the swap meet, well, local swap meet. So they sell a packet of super glue for $1, and you better believe I'm their #1 customer for that shit, cause I fucking love how these two fucker thingies work together. If you're wondering why I'm cussing, it's because we're past a minute, and fuck YouTube. Anyways, now I'm going to use a Dremel to kind of file down the seam lines and just touch up the base resin. This is what it's cast out, resin, plastic, so it sands down pretty nice and hides a lot of mistakes pretty easily. The biggest problem I ran into when making this model kit was air bubbles, so a lot of super glue and baking soda is used to fix that, and it's most noticeably in the teeth, where they're kind of just little stumps with a giant air bubble in it. And to fix that, I'm just going to shave them down into tiny little teeth and add each tooth individually like I would do with a normal sculpture. Makes sense? Not really. Kinda. Whatever. I did also rotocast them, so basically means I throw a bit of resin in the casting and just swing it around until it covers the inside evenly, so that way they're hollow, which is pretty useful to save on resin, money, all that, except when you press the Dremel too hard and it punches through and you make a giant hole. But again, super glue, baking soda, maybe some cat hair, and it's fixed. I'm also gonna use some acrylic paint, as always, to paint this thing. You notice I ran out of the giant bottle of red paint, so I'm using a little tube. Doesn't matter. Tube actually is better, apparently. It sticks on better. Usually I need to do a few layers, but for that, just base coat of red. Gonna use some base coat of phthalo green, actually, for the bottom, because my color composition class says always use opposite colors when you can. And it looks like blue, apparently green, whatever color you want it to be, it'll be that color. Another thing, you may notice I'm painting very aggressively, and that will fuck up your paintbrushes. It's hard to get into details of blunt the edges, but it works, so I'm not going to stop that anytime soon. I'm fine with murdering the paintbrushes, no matter how expensive. Just kidding, I just buy $1 paintbrushes, so fuck them. But I'm gonna keep the paint job pretty simple for this thing, so just a base coat of red on the Godzilla with a layer of tan skin color on that, and basically done. For the water, I think it looks fine, just having a watered down green, blue, whatever color that is. That way the white underneath the resin kind of shows up, and it will naturally create that water effect, I guess is how you'll say it. And after a quick dry brushing of pink, I'm going to start working on the hard part, which is basically filing down the mouth again, so I could start adding teeth in there again. Add a break. Yay! First one. Ha ha ha. Funny joke. Pat in the back, me. Thank you, me. There's gonna be more of these eventually. You'll never know when they're coming. Anyways, here we are where I sculpted each little tooth, gluing them on with the little dab of super glue. Gonna add some baking soda like earlier to reinforce it. And if you're wondering why I jumbled everything down earlier, it was so that when I glue it, I'm gluing onto the resin itself and not like a thin layer of red paint. That way it's has like a strong connection. I won't have to worry about it snapping off when I ship it or sell it or drop it, which I do very often off camera. But thankfully, this only took like a few minutes. I think it was like 5 minutes of video, maybe like 7 minutes without camera of gluing each tooth on. Just kind of want to keep a pattern of like a big tooth, small tooth, big tooth, or however you want it. I know it's not exactly screen accurate. I know he's got like a little more of that mouth membrane, but this is my own take on the character, so fuck it. But once I finish adding all these teeth, I'm gonna go ahead and add some red onto it to kind of add another base layer and basically make it look like it's growing out of his mouth instead of just glued straight on. And of course, when I add a bit of red, I need to follow up with a little bit of pink just to blend it in and make it look a little more natural and fun. Because who doesn't love pink? If you hate pink, fuck you. Unless you're a cat, because if you're a cat and hate pink, I still love you, because you're a cat. But now we could finally move on to a new color, which is going to be, I forgot what color it's called. It's like yellow ochre mixed with some white. Flesh color, weird tan color, this color, the color you're looking at right now, that color. Makes sense? It better not be, because it's color. But unlike with the red, I'm gonna actually be dry brushing this, so I'm gonna be wiping off most of the paint. That way it only hits like the highest point of the texture, and it'll leave a bit of red in the little crevices, and it'll look like he does in the movie, where he's a fucked up giant little sad creature with a bunch of blood leaking out of it and emanating red glowing energy. It's hard to describe unless you've seen it, which I'm assuming most of you have, since why else would you be watching this? But once that's done, I'm gonna move on to painting the eyes, which is kind of hard, because who learns how to paint eyes unless you need to paint eyes? I mean, usually I never look at reference photos, but for eyes, I felt like I needed to, because if you do it any other way, it's gonna look weird and not right. But I'm gonna start off by adding a little base layer of white onto the eyes, and then I do a little black dot, well, I guess a big black dot, smaller brown dot, and then a black dot in that. That way it makes like a brown little iris in the pupil. I think I'm using these terms right. But after that, and some foam on the butt, I am gonna call this done. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you like it and subscribe. Feels weird saying that, but hope you do. And see you next week, stalkers.